Daniel is using sound to see.
I've been using echolocation for as long as I can remember, certainly since I was a year old. I learned very early in life to click, and I learned that that click essentially was my light. I was able to construct images from surfaces in the environment based on sonar.
Daniel listens for when his clicks echo off nearby objects, allowing him to sense not just the object's position in space, but also specific qualities about them.
Passing an opening, and then here's tall hedge. But back here, we have pillars, and they flank an opening, and this opening takes us into another world.
Daniel's technique works a lot like how bats use sounds to navigate in the dark, and it caught the attention of bat biologist Cynthia Moss.
There are a lot of similarities, actually, between what Daniel Kish does and what bats do. Daniel makes a click and uses echoes from the click sound to perceive the presence of objects. Bats, for the most part, use their voices instead of their tongues to produce high-frequency sounds that result in echoes.
Today, she and Daniel are working together at her lab at the University of Maryland to see just how detailed of an image he is able to produce using sound.
There are a number of pipes that are positioned in different locations, and if you could tell us what you see or experience with your echolocation as you approach the different obstacles.
Okay, so I'm passing, I touched this one with my sleeve, but I'm aware of this one as well. And I'm aware of it, which suggests that it's probably two together.
That's right.
Although he can see grouped pipes with relative ease, individual ones are more difficult for Daniel to detect.
Somewhere in that area.
Likely meaning the image he's producing is less detailed than a bat's.
The bats don't have this problem, you know? They can detect fishing line. It's just really not fair.
Nonetheless, Daniel's ability to distinguish between different qualities of sound ranks far above average. Research suggests that Daniel has rewired his brain, allowing him to actually see a kind of visual signal with his ears. Much as you use shadow, color, and perspective to get information about the world, Daniel listens for differences in sound that can give him concrete information about how far away and how big objects are. The biggest question remains, is this something you could learn to do, even if you're not blind?
I think the answer is yes, with training. It does take time to learn such a new skill, and I think the younger you are, because younger brains are a bit more adaptable than older brains.
Dr. Moss's son, Peter, taught himself to echolocate after seeing Daniel speak about the technique. Peter is now able to navigate a maze with a clicker while blindfolded.
It's possible to kind of visualize everything with your ears, but I guess it takes a little more training for some people than others.
Scientists like Moss continue to find evidence that your brain is remarkably changeable, that through persistent training, you can reprogram your mind to see
different. Same, just picking me out.
Hear
She cut with her knife.
and feel in entirely different ways.
That was so crazy. I felt that.
In the last hour, we tricked you with these illusions to give you a window into your brain. We hacked some of its most ingrained shortcuts to show you just how seamlessly it stitches together your reality. Now that you understand how your brain does this, you shouldn't have any problem with one final illusion, right? Our actors are on a set we've built that resembles the same reality you experience daily, with one glaring problem. It's your job to figure out what's wrong. Pick one. Let's roll the sound. Where do you think you are? A park. Okay. This place seems to make the noises you'd expect it to, right? how about the backdrop? Any issues there? The color makes sense. Shadows all line up. The perspective works. So what's wrong here? Have you figured it out?
Hey, what's up?
If you didn't get this one, don't feel bad.
Reset, going again.
Since you rarely have to worry if the world is sideways. Or if the sound of rain is actually bacon frying on a griddle. Your brain makes its best guesses to give you the organized and dependable world you know so well.
Even though our reality isn't really real, and it certainly isn't perfect, it's close enough. And I think that's the reassuring thing, that you really have to do some clever tricks to fully expose to us just how artificial, how hallucinatory our reality actually is.